We are back and live on Spaces for the big review weekend we've got. Holy crap. That was a long Saturday. There's George coming in right on time. Had to make sure my voice is going to be good for this one. Good gosh, that's a lot to talk about.
Hello.
How you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you?
I am good. I admittedly didn't get through all of All Out yesterday. I had to watch the back half of it today, I think it was. Not even half, probably like the last 3 matches.
Yeah, very exciting. Very exciting.
It was a long show.
Basically, I gotta think, 5 hours of a mediocre to bad Dynamite?
or even like a collision with a lot of what it was. That's I get some when we get to the review of it. There's some of them like, why was this even on? This could have been on Dynamite because it's a collision match. Like
yeah. Before we get into everything, I do know that the the pre-shows were different.
Oh,
yeah. The YouTube 0 hour was different than the TNT show.
Oh. So I just had it on I had on what would have been on YouTube because I just had the pay-per-view on, which had that before it with like the stuff with Samoa Joe, and they were calling it like the tailgate brawl. And yeah. I thought them using the word brawl around was probably not the best move. Like, cause you see brawl and All Out, you think brawl out. Like that's not, yeah. Cause
it got it from it was the TNT, tailgate brawl.
Okay, the tailgate brawl, that's what it was. And it was brawl something, the tailgate. Which, I mean, tailgates, I guess they probably do in Toronto as well for the Argonauts or whatever, but like tailgating is like a very American tradition. Like doing it in Canada just seems weird. I mean, maybe they tailgate well up there.
Having done it for 5 years, yes, I know.
Yeah, right. I mean, yeah. I just think, all I saw on the branding was brawl, and I'm like, oh, that's not a good word.
But they were different. Like when you guys were like on YouTube, they had 11,000 people in there, I think, watching it.
Okay.
And when they were showing Renee doing her thing there on TNT, it was different. It's weird.
Okay, yeah, I was watching what was on from YouTube. I didn't realize TNT had anything of it. Maybe is that their like counter to what ESPN was doing for WWE? There's trying to be
close. They've done that before, though. They've always done that too. Always put it on TNT.
Okay, no, I've seen that. I've seen that sometimes with like the countdown shows and stuff with it. But yeah, no, I usually just end up watching it through YouTube, or if I'm going to be watching the pay-per-view, it's just all connected through there. But I purposely only tuned in towards the end because I knew we had a long Saturday ahead of us. So I felt bad because
Samoa Joe on the pregame show. It's pretty smart.
Literally what I was about to say. Thank you. I'm like, the only thing I felt bad about was missing Joe's match, and then I ended up like fast forwarding back and rewinding it because when I watch it today to start from the beginning, I skipped through some, but why is he there doing with whatever he's doing with them?
I had friends from Buffalo that went.
Oh yeah, so was their time affected and stuff because of the? Yes. Yeah, okay. Ooh, do they have stories?
It's only a 3.5 hour drive from Buffalo to Toronto.
Right.
However, when you take into account the weekend traffic of Toronto, it adds a lot of time. So they were planning on leaving at like 9-10 in the morning to get there by 2-3 in the afternoon, check in. Cause they were going to stay, they stayed overnight, but
right. So that
everything got swapped all over.
Which was the number one thing that we talked about when they moved the time. Is like, what about the people that are coming in day of checking into their hotel? Yeah. I think that's what most people would do for an event. You know, like you check in that day. Like if you're going for us here in Phoenix, we go up to Vegas for a lot of concerts, and that's what we're going to do. You're going to get concerts on a Friday morning, you fly up, get ready at the hotel, go to the concert that night. If they move the concert to 3 PM, that would kind of fuck everything up.
Yeah, it changes a lot of stuff.
Right? Good God. And that's just, or that disconnect of what real people have to mess with and stuff. And I'm sure.
Yeah, it changed a lot. They were in a bad mood when they got there.
I would assume so. And then, like you said on our show, on our preview show the other day, because we were just thinking about, I know Toronto's close to Buffalo, but it's also close enough to, like you said, like Detroit, Chicago. There's enough people. Yeah. And wrestling fans will travel. We know that. We're just talking about people driving in. What if somebody was going to fly in, like what most people, a lot of people would do? Then they've got to rearrange their flights, try to figure that out. And there wasn't enough time to pull any of that off without it costing an arm and a leg.
Yeah, you're gonna have to make major costs.
Right, exactly. Yeah, especially these days with the way the flights are.
And then the one thing they were looking forward to, as well as everybody else, was the Edge and Christian reunited thing.
Yeah.
So they kind of figured, okay, that's going to be near the end of the show because the crowd's going to be all happy and waiting for this. But no, they didn't get that. Yeah. No, did they?
I mean, we can just dive right into the review. Just so everybody knows what we're going to do is we're going to review the two shows. And then if there's time at the end, we'll open it up for questions or what people want to talk about. If you guys have comments and stuff, put them in the chat because that will pop up in front of me and I'll see it and I can definitely read them out. But yeah, that was, when the show started, when they had the Edge and Christian with the guy from Trailer Park Boys, I was funny because I liked that show. I hadn't thought of it in a long time, but it made me laugh. But then they clipped right to the match. Like, were they supposed to like have gotten changed, like, you know, Superman in the phone booth, or did they say it was pre-taped? Because I didn't hear that. I came back out.
They never tell you it's pre-taped.
I did. Yeah. Well, sometimes WWE will say that, like, hey, this is what happened and led to this. Yeah. Okay. So they were just coming in the back and then had to get changed right away. And I mean, I get it.
It was an odd choice to open it with this, I thought.
Oh, for sure.
That's what everybody came for.
Yeah. I mean, there
were 11,000 people there and 7,000 of them wanted that match to be the main event. Yeah, I'm assuming. I don't know.
It's just like when the Sting retirement, like you got the people in, that was, North Carolina. You got 15,000 people in there and ended it with that. But I wonder if there was like maybe some complaints or something of it. Cause I mean, let's be real. If you're going for the nostalgia act, you gotta be, you're approaching the older fans like us. I mean, after 4 or 5 hours, people don't want to sit there for that long. You gotta, yeah. So I could see that that could have been the idea of why they wanted to do it early. But I feel like if you were going to do that from the beginning, tell us, let us know that. Give us a little bit of, cause I can imagine the people, like if I was going to go into that show, I would have thought the same thing and maybe even trying to show up right at first bell. But like, I don't want to be anywhere for 5 hours.
They were, I mean, they said that the crowd was into it. Like the first match, they were into it. And that blew it right there.
Oh, yeah, shocking.
They were done. Well, they popped for a couple other things during the show, but they were done. They were done.
What else on the card is there to look forward to? I mean, really, like we'll get through it as
the ladders match was anticipated in that stupid tax and tables.
Yeah, but I mean, just
kind of looking forward to it.
And those are more spectacles. Those are more for the spots. Like,
yeah, that's why they wanted.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a lot of the fans and a lot of the quote unquote sickos, which I feel like they're leaning into that so hard. I saw the Tony Storm DraftKings commercial where she just called them sicko fans. I'm like, oh good lord. But I feel like there's not everybody wants the violence. At least, I mean, not every single person that, you know what I mean? So if like, for me, if I went like the violent stuff, like, okay, it is what it is. But yeah, like the number one thing I would have wanted to see was the Edge and Christian reuniting and the match with them. And then
if you bought a ticket, you're going for the violence though.
That's true. Which is why I haven't bought a ticket. It's a very valid point. I had a chance to go to Double or Nothing and I chose nothing. But and then
gonna happen.
And then to have the match was fine for what it was. It was a fine
best wrestling match of the day.
Yeah, it was right. Seriously, but and it was good. It was good for what it was a good old kind of style wrestling match. The little tribute to John Cena was nice from Edge, which I saw some people complaining about, but I even feel like most people
but Cena did a tribute to him,
right? And fine. What it's like, when you think of John Cena, like his main rivals, it's like Randy Orton, Brock Lesnar, Edge. Like those were the three, and CM Punk for a good portion too. You know what I mean? Like those are people that John had great rivalries with, so it made a lot of sense. What didn't make a lot of sense?
Plus, like I said, John gave him the tribute the week before on
SmackDown.
Yeah,
no. Well, I mean, John played the hits of everybody on that one. That was, I thought that.
Yeah, but that's fine.
Yeah, well,
that was return the favor.
And he did it for people that he had wrestled. You know what I mean? He did it for people that he had worked with a bunch, which I love. I love a good callback, but which I thought was all done very well. What wasn't done so well was, the initial part of it when Beth Phoenix came out and returned. Well, they just called her Beth, and then they called her Beth Copeland, which makes sense. But she came out and she speared Stokely. And then they got a 2 count, and then she carried him away, and that was fine. And then they go into it where they get the win. Great. That's awesome. Wonderful. In their hometown. They couldn't just have left it at that.
Never does.
I put in your hometown. I thought that was one of the things that, like, there's certain things about Vince that everybody hated. And, the humiliation in the hometown was pretty high up on that list. And it's something that
was up there.
And it's something that like Triple H has kind of gone way out of his way to make sure doesn't happen. Now people are getting well over in their hometowns because of that. And then and Tony does this where Mama Wayne comes wheeling the kid out, wheeling baby Nick in his wheelchair out to cause a distraction so Kip Sabian and FTR can attack Edge and Christian, lock them up with handcuffs to the ropes. Oh God, this was the first match too.
Yeah, they blew it all one shot.
Exactly. This was 2 to 4 weeks of, or even possibly longer of television segments that they knocked all out.
6 months. 6 months at least. You draw 6 months.
If you did it properly, yeah.
Yes.
And I mean, if nothing else, you at least can tease and threaten that you're going to do something to Beth. But no, in her first appearance, in less than 10 minutes from her debut, she gets a spike pile driver from FTR. I almost turned my TV up then. It was 12:15. Like it was early for me in the West Coast. I'm like, I haven't even had lunch yet, and we're spike pile driving Beth Phoenix. Okay.
Yeah. Pretty awesome.
Yeah, pretty awesome.
As he says it sarcastically.
No, yeah, that was good. Yeah, that was literally just and then like, all right, I guess here we go. I mean, I just couldn't believe that was not only how they started, but then what they continue to do. Like it was just, it would
have been good if they just would have ended with the win.
Yes, and then like like FTR gets to regroup and they get mad, and then you can see them going cahoots with matriarchy or whatever with it, but just to do it all again.
Yeah, you've already taken the crowd out of the game.
Oh God, and that's the other thing too. If the entire crowd is there for that, and that is how you end that segment.
Yeah, they got the win. They're all happy. Then they see that.
You're all happy for 30
seconds.
Down.
Yeah. You're done.
Yeah. And then, I mean, I don't know, like Eddie Kingston has been at some different points what some people would consider the heart and soul of AEW or something of AEW, but I mean,
I'm not a big Eddie Kingston guy. I'm sorry.
I'm not. I wanted to be. Yeah, I feel like I
never wanted to be. I can't look at that guy and say professional wrestler.
No,
I can't do it.
I mean, I get you. I feel like I feel like CM Punk or like Bryan Danielson or anybody that's had these feuds with that are like, no, we just want you to be good at this. You've got the passion for it. You've got to drive, but then you drive to the pub and order 3 double cheeseburgers and 6 beers.
Especially after me and you were talking a while back. Remember when he put out that little heartfelt?
Yes, in the Athletic. Yeah. That article.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Couldn't follow up with it.
No. And that's classic AEW. You get something presented in front of you and they just have no idea how to follow it up. And this is another one with it because there is a section, especially of their remaining fans. Cause let's be real. He's been gone for 16 months. They've lost how many? Their average fans is at least down 100,000 from
they came back up this week though. They're back up.
All right. But I'm just saying on average. Yeah. But 16 months ago, that was a good episode would have been like over 700, over 800, you know? But the people that are remaining is my point is the percentage of them is a higher percentage of Eddie Kingston fans. And they just blew his return. He blew it too by literally looking the exact same. Like you're gone. Like anytime somebody gets injured, all I can ever think of is the Triple H quad injury where he like moved to Alabama and got himself in the best shape of his life so that when he had to come back.
Randy Orton coming back.
Yes. I remember we were on PWT Live with you, me, and Phil. When he came back, you're like, wow, man, you think he could have gotten in shape? Like, just Jesus. It was like, Randy's
my official comment was, I'm not a gay man, but if I were.
He's just, and he's kept it and he's, maintained it with it. And no, and then Big Bill is just
wasted.
Yeah, it's just, yeah. And honestly, if anybody hasn't seen it, it's all over Twitter today. But the finish of this match where Eddie does the spinning bat fist, clearly misses to the point where Tony Schiavone goes, oh, he missed. And that's still the finish. They don't even try to do something else, try to do it again. Just, that's fine. Like that right there is just not giving a shit about your job.
Don't show the replay.
Yeah, right.
Just don't show the replay.
Shout out to Brad Becker. Eddie Kingston is the ass of AEW. Yeah, he's the fattest part of the ass of AEW.
I became out of the Eddie Kingston game when he did those series of chops where he chops the opponent and at the same exact time he's also chopping his own self. So he makes the
and he does that less than he starts doing the shitty chops 2 seconds in. They run a little spot and then he does, I think they call him the thunder chops or some stupid chops thing where he does. And yes, I was just less than 5 minutes he's doing that shit again and he's winded. I'm sorry. I just, no, I want to like the guy. I do, but that's all I got. It's just, speaking of,
my friends were saying the same thing that Brad just said. The fans were sitting around. They were mingling. People were looking at their phones and goofing off and just waiting for some other stuff to pop their,
Right.
It happened. We saw it. So.
Yeah. And that happens in a lot of matches. You have something big and you have to have the come down match. Like we talked about Hogan and Rock. Everybody thinks that it was Triple H and Jericho right after, but it was the women's title. They have to have something to have people come down to. And unfortunately, that's what this match was, which again is just setting Eddie Kingston up for failure for his return match. And
how long did this officially go? Do you remember?
At 7 minutes and 20 seconds. I've got the times up here.
7 minutes? That was it?
That's what it says. I've got it here up. I'm up
That's
on
gotta
Wikipedia,
be a first for AEW.
Yeah, right.
Less than 10-minute match on a pay-per-view?
That's a valid point.
Yeah.
The thing is, it felt longer. It really felt like it was dragging by a 10 for me watching it live. No,
right. That's why
I'm surprised. I wonder if that's maybe a typo and that's 17. But I mean, I don't know. Well, they also had the Brian Keith stuff that came out afterwards, and that's kind of all tied to it. And this was just bell to bell. But then you had Mark Briscoe and MJF in the, what was it? Tables and tax match. Yeah. Just, oh my God.
Good idea.
This one is like the Jim Cornette special of just things that he hates. Just right away, just throwing the tax on the ground. And they both come out wearing white, which I get, but come on guys. You can't both be in white shirts.
Yeah, they made it obvious what was going to be happening shortly.
Oh yeah. And it was. And then again, this is happening a little bit before 1 p.m. my time. My wife is in the living room. It's luckily she was watching the iPad and not paying attention. I'm embarrassed that this is on my television at 1 o'clock on a fucking Saturday. Oh God.
Yeah, now it's sorry. Yeah, it's a weird, it's just, I have no words. I really don't.
And again, but back to, and I saw so many people saying this too, not that they got there, that we were on the same train with them of it, but I saw people Alfred Konoa and Raj Giri of this is your chance to be family friendly. Right. There is this opportunity presented to you. Whoever side anybody is on, you can see what an opportunity is there. And they're acting oh yeah, we're affordable. We're blah, 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 family friendly. Tony Khan has said that. And then this is the third match on the real card. Just thumbtacks in the mouth. There was blood everywhere.
There weren't a lot of kids in the audience, by the way.
Of course not. There's
not a lot of kids.
It's mostly single white guys from the age 20 to 50 who the incel crowd that unfortunately usually don't bathe. Now there's peripheries. There's peripheries.
They get some women involved there once in a while.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying the general
couple
fan
ladies
base.
in the audience.
There are people that you can see in the crowd, especially when I go and get pictures for our thumbnails and stuff. I'm so glad to edit them out of it because it's just the same type of people, especially that are going to all the shows and paying for it. And that's why they only get crowds of 12 to 1,300. Yeah.
They send a really strange message to the people though. They got they put AJ Boom on with the Rizzler and Big Justice, and that's good stuff. That's family friendly shit. That's cool. Rizzler doing his thing, whatever the hell he does.
He makes his face. Hey, it made him a lot of money.
They gave him a Rizzler doll, I think, on AEW.
He was some sort of plush thing I saw. Yeah.
Right. Which is cool. I'm good. But then 5 seconds later, you got what you got here. Yeah. And that contradicts what you're just literally trying to do. Go one way or go the other. Just don't go both.
Yeah, and I know they want to say something for everybody, but there's a bit where there's just too much of extremes and things. And I'm not saying that you can't have some violence in certain things of it.
Just go full ad.
You just can't have
do
it.
Every friggin' match is a death match. Fuck it.
Yeah, exactly. It's and then who fight? You have to follow it. follow that. I don't want to. Like,
they don't care. They don't care.
A little bit at least.
Honestly, they don't care.
No, they don't at all. No.
Somebody would say something because if you're any kind of a wrestler in general, and you see something going on before you that you're doing in your match, you're going to say something to that effect earlier. We're doing the same exact thing in 2 matches. What the hell's going on?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. No, and that's why a lot of times I see like MJF, if he's not going to be in the main event, I was surprised he was in the 3rd match. I thought he was going to be in the first. I thought they were going to lead off with this just because I know MJF wants to get my stuff in and get out because everybody, like, you can't follow once everybody else is gone for 4 hours. You know, it's just, And then the next match that came out, like, this is where I tapped out the first time yesterday and I had to go make lunch and deal with stuff because it was the Ricochet entrance stuff with Ricochet and the Gates of Agony versus the Hurt Syndicate. And as I'm making lunch, I'm like listening in. The Hurt Syndicate lost?
Yeah, they
what?
This was we kind of
they lost.
Phil was talking about they put some Phil from Pro Wrestle Times, okay, PWT. He was saying that he had an exchange with MVP. Now, I might not get this right, and I apologize if I don't, but I'm pretty close, I think. He had an exchange with MVP about putting over young talent, and MVP says he puts over young talent. And Phil was kind of skeptical about that. And MVP put over younger talent like he said he was going to do.
I mean, sure.
I'm missing a lot of the in between talk here.
Phil's got a point in the sense of nobody really puts over young talent in that company. Like even
that's where he was going.
Yeah, because like they when Jericho did it once, they acted like it was like moving heaven and earth. Like, an Action Andretti is going to be the biggest star in the world. You know, no, they just did.
Where's he at?
Yeah, teaming with Leo Rush. That's a good.
Okay.
As far as I know, they might not be still teaming. I haven't watched Collision in a long time, and neither has anybody else. But I just know it was because I came back into my living room because I had the sound on. I'm like, and I saw that it was just MVP, and they take it out Lashley, and I'm like, he's gonna beat him with it. And I mean, it makes sense if you're gonna have the Hurt Syndicate lose. MVP's the one to take the pin. You cannot be having Bobby or Shelton look weak at all, but it's just, I don't know, like what have they done with the Hurt Syndicate? They had a moment with them. And then again, I still think it all comes down to like whenever they decided like, oh, we're not going to do the MJF stuff with them anymore. And they just ended that abruptly. Why? It wasn't like they were going to go anywhere better. Everything sucked for everybody.
Abrupt endings seem to happen.
Yeah. And see, that's where I feel like the intrigue is. Like, that's where those backstage stories, like, what happened? Is there a point where Bobby was just like, I'm done. I'm not going to put MJF over at the end of it. Like, what happens backstage? I'm more intrigued by that. But
MVP they have something in store for the Gates of Agony. I think they're younger. They look good. They wrestle pretty good too. Those wasn't a bad match.
Yeah. It's just like this
was actually pretty decent for me. I didn't mind this one.
I always felt like they were a team that was one of those teams that would pop up and look great, but then they went away and never were followed up on. So maybe this group with Ricochet, as obnoxious as he can be, if it gets them on TV every week, that's better for them. It's just, what's the follow-up going to be?
Yeah, that's always the problem. When you start getting over, you got to worry about the booking.
It's
true.
Especially if you get over when they weren't prepared for you to. Like if you were supposed to lose and not get over, and then all of a sudden you're more over. There's no
the acclaim.
Yeah, exactly. Oh God, which they had that fun backstage segment thing that they did. That was something. Where they were yelling at each other in the parking lot.
They're back together now, right?
I think
they're running back together. The acclaim.
That's what it kind of seemed to me. I don't know,
but that ship's already sailed. So.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like, yeah, they were arguing backstage and they're in the parking lot, and just why? Another just why is Mercedes Moné versus Riho, and Mercedes did her. Did you see she
Hogan versus Andre? Right?
Well, she tried to do her Triple H entrance where. They were definitely copying when, her, Charlotte, and Alexa Bliss were like when Triple H did the entrance with the throne and he had the 3 ladies with them. It was, and it was those 3. And I swear this is her version of that, but with like the AEW school talents of like, Dustin School or whatever, but all the best talents are either WWE ID'd or in NXT. And it was just a bunch of goofy looking dudes that didn't look that buff. I don't know. It just looked terrible. It looked, again, it's like Timu, whatever you want to call her.
You probably had a combined weight of 150 in there. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Give or take. Because Riho can't go more than 90.
I was going to say 90 to 95. And then Monet's what? 110, 115, maybe? Maybe.
But
I don't know. Yeah, and I mean, it's fine. Like, the match was fine for what it was. I just didn't care. I just,
I was wondering if they were actually going to give Riho the win, though, to be honest with you. I'm like, they might go back to the well on this one. But they didn't, so I give them credit there, I guess.
Yeah, and with what they did later, it made more sense. But I just, again, with Mercedes, like, they act like she's doing so much and changing the business and but everything's the same. She just goes out and she does, and she can do, it's a fine match. She's a fine wrestler. It's just, why? I don't know. I think now it's obvious that they're just keeping the TBS title on her until she can break the Jade Cargill record, because they don't want to act like Jade Cargill was ever a part of AEW.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then she only has 10 titles or 9.
I think it's 9, or is it 8 now because she lost one? I don't know. It's too many, is what it is. That's awesome. That's the answer. That's the answer. Somebody, Jameer Durham just asked, how do you like the Ricochet team name faction? The Demand. I thought they were called, at first I'm like, did he call them On Demand? I don't know. It's a fine name,
Supply
I guess.
Demand?
Yeah, there's just, wasn't that, never mind. Was it? It was Godfather and Val Venus was Supply and Demand for like 3 weeks.
Oh, was it really? I was just making that up.
No, that was an actual tag team in the, it was like in the Attitude Era, but like right when the Parents Council and then it formed into the, Right to Censor. Yeah.
Interesting. I never knew that at all.
The thing about wrestling, there's so many different names and things with it. You've got to kind of go with what you can work with. And I mean, I like Ricochet as a heel. I just think that, his online activity just is so goofy. But speaking of goofy, I think the next match was not this one. No, the one, the next match was Okada, the, unified title, Okada and Takeshita. And then for some reason they had Mascara Dorada in there, but it felt like he just would come in and get thrown out just so they could have the two of them. I don't know why he was on the match. I don't know why they had this match on the card at all. This was one of those matches that could have been a Dynamite match.
I didn't think he was that bad in the match. I didn't want him in there, but at least he did stuff. I mean,
yeah, I don't know. It felt like you knew that he was just in there to kind of have some spots or whatever, but the moment where the money was between Okada and Takeshita.
Yeah, they should have just left it a singles match.
Yeah, exactly. That's, we're going to talk about, this meeting could have been an email. This triple threat could have been a singles match. It was what it was. It did go too long. Again, 21 minutes. Okada doesn't need to be wrestling over 50.
They should all have taken lessons from the Eddie Kingston match, 7 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
No, that's what they should be. 15 should be the tops for any match they have, and they don't do that. So.
Yeah, if your main event can go to 20, or or certain important things. But to them, every match is WrestleMania 3, Savage versus Steamboat. Like, everybody wants that to be every match they do. Like, yes, that's a great match. It's a lot of people's favorite match, but oi. Speaking of oi, oh God, the coffin match between Moxley and Darby. This is another one where if you tried to, I'm glad we're doing this on Spaces, so I have to try to find pictures that would be YouTube friendly. Right? Because everything's got to be black and white. Like, come on. Family friendly, folks.
This is what we expected, at least.
Yeah. I mean, you knew going into it, but what else can you say? Forks,
it wasn't,
knives, blood.
For what it was, there's nobody that didn't expect to see what they saw and went, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. So that's a bonus. I'll take a bonus where you can, I guess.
We paid for blood. Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah. That's what this match was. No, it was like, it's just, but I mean, and then like this spot where like, Darby gets like dived or thrown or however you want to do it onto the coffin. Like, every time I see stuff like this, Tony Khan, we're the safest company in wrestling. Like, just why does he say shit like that when his company does shit like this? And
I do understand he doesn't like to be like WWE, but isn't the whole purpose of the coffin match is to put your opponent inside the coffin and close the door?
Close the lid. Yeah. I mean, you don't want to call it the casket match, fine, but yeah, just I don't. And then Pac comes back again. Like, how many returns can he have? Yeah,
new haircut too, looking sharp.
Yeah, it's just. And then when's he gonna go away again? Like, he's back, he's gone. He's back, he's gone. I feel it's either like a visa issue or he gets
hurt.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it was just. I mean, Moxley gets the win over Darby. Like, wasn't the whole thing of
it makes
Darby
no sense
lost?
either.
Yeah, right. Just none of it makes any sense. I just make it make sense. Another thing that didn't make a lot of sense, but I was happy to see it, was the end of the women's four-way or the women's title four-way match with Timeless Toni Storm defending her title versus Jamie Hayter, Thekla, and losing it to Chris Statlander, which. I was shocked by this, like genuinely shocked when I saw this. Now, granted, I did see it online before I watched it live because the show was too long. But even when I saw that pop up, I'm like, that's not actually what happened. Oh shit, it is what happened. Good for her.
I checked out before this match and I came back and I didn't know who won it. I was just,
that's all. Good for her, man. Because she's I
don't know. Go ahead, Jake.
She's like the female version of like Wardlow and Hobbs, though, of like where you've got somebody who's got the talent, who gets over and makes connection with the audience, and then you don't do shit with her. And I know she's been hurt. I know she's got the knee issues, which that's a whole other thing. But you could almost use that to your advantage. Everybody loves a good comeback story, and she seems like a good, like, you know what I mean? You get a good story out of that with her, and I'm happy she won the title, but also like, what? Like, isn't Toni been who they've been investing in? I feel like she would have been smarter in my mind to have her win the TBS title, but
I have a strange feeling that this is not going to be long term. That Mercedes might beat her, and then Toni Storm and Mercedes go for all for nothing. Maybe.
Okay.
I'm guessing. I can
see that.
Know.
No, I could. Yeah. Now,
but giving it to Statlander like that, real quick like that, I don't know if it's a long-term thing. It just doesn't seem like they. Yeah.
No, you're right. It doesn't. No,
choice,
it doesn't make a lot of sense at all. Like, and that, I think that's why it was surprising. I mean, it's cool to see and glad for her, but yeah, like, I'm nervous and scared of it because they're not.
You're putting a title on a person that hasn't made it through 6 months in a row ever. She gets hurt.
Shit,
something.
Put it like
you know
that.
what I mean? She's
hurt.
No,
when you put it like that. Ooh, yeah. No, I didn't think it was
that way. She's not there.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, yeah. Hey, facts are facts. You can't deny that with it. Where she's, yeah. I mean, I'm happy that she's got it under her belt with it. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if, yeah, they gets reversed back or Toni does something, or I just don't know where they go with the storyline with it because Tony's never lost the belt before. I don't know. But I mean, good for her in that sense. Good for her.
They're heading toward the Toni Mercedes finale sooner than later, I would think.
It's got to. You would think.
That's why I think Mercedes beats Statlander.
Okay.
So all the belts are on her.
Okay. That makes sense. That's very, although logic and Tony Khan.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking about it. Sorry.
No, right. No, you actually put effort into it. And did you have your columns vertical or horizontal? It's all about the columns, man. It's all about the columns. Yeah. No, that would make a lot of sense. Plus, you gotta start getting these belts off Mercedes. There's no, it's lost some sort of, you know what I mean? Like, there's only so much you can do left with it. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta get them belts off of her.
In fairness to her, it's not her fault because those promotions want her to come in and win it. They put their promotion on.
Oh, absolutely. You know. I'm sure she's on their websites being, but it's just, you gotta, the old shitter get off the pot, man. You gotta do something. You can't just do nothing. But unfortunately, that's a lot of what they do is just nothing or hold and, not cash in on their moments. You know, like every time I see Jamie Hayter, I'm like, why did she not have that breakup with Britt Baker and have that great feud? Would have been great for both of them. And
she could have won this.
Yeah. She is a talented lady. She is. I every time I see her, I really do like the way she wrestles, and hopefully she can get to NXT sooner than later because I don't think she can.
They were four of the best women that they have in that match, though.
Yeah, for sure. It was a good match. I enjoyed it. It was short. It was only like 12 minutes, I think. 11 minutes, 55 seconds.
See, that's their sweet spot.
Yeah,
it really is.
It
that
really
is their spot.
It is for wrestling in general. Like, I feel like a lot of people remember like the old days and think things went like longer than they did. Like, if you go back and watch some of those older matches, one of the things I love about our classic match reviews that you watch them, you're like, that was 11 minutes. Like, when I was like,
the one we did was only 6.
30. Yeah, and it works. Because if you're entertained and into each moment, there's just not a bunch of bullshit. I don't know.
See, but for AEW, for AEW in specific, having that 10 to 15, even give them 15, you can get your story in, not have to worry about all the after shit that takes place that jacks up for 25 to 30 minutes. That's the problem.
Yeah. No,
they don't know when to end the story, end the match, and that's it. Save the other parts for Dynamite.
Right. Yeah, or do just a little bit, do a little something as opposed to.
I hope Tony's here listening.
Yeah. I did. Hey, I would happily help him out if he would let us. I am more than I'm happy to receive constructive criticism and give constructive criticism. I'm fine with it. It really works for me. Though the penultimate match, which, this you knew this was gonna be the 4-way ladder match. I mean, this is 4 teams having a ladder match with Brody King and Bandito as Brodito. The young crickets, as I call them now, since every time they come out, nobody cares about them anymore, just at all. Jet Speed of Kevin Knight and Speedball Mike Bailey, and two members of the Don Callis family. And once you saw it was Hechicero and Josh Alexander, you knew they weren't winning since he still hasn't won a match in AEW. And this one went way too long. Like, this match went forever.
What was the official time on this bucker?
24 minutes, 40 seconds.
Seemed like 34 minutes.
The thing about that is I'm assuming that's bell to bell. When you have 4 teams entering, like, that's a long fucking match. Oh my God. Yeah, this took too long. That's all I really got. I mean, and you knew it was going to happen, but this was just spots on spots on spots on spots. And I forget if it was before or after that Darby. It was after. Okay. So we'll get spots on spots on spots and then talk about the Darby. It was, they're fine. I'm not that big into just these type of matches where there's really no story being told. It's just spots and helping each other and setting things up. And
at least they separated it.
Yeah.
At least they separated it with the match in between.
Yeah. No, they did try to, they did try to set, because we said it going into it. There was like the 3 matches that were set up to be bloody. We had the tax match, the coffin match, and this one. What we knew there's going to be stuff on the other matches as well, but those 3, like, you're setting up for a card of violence, whether you want to be family friendly or not. But I don't know. Yeah. This was just. I'm glad nobody was hospitalized in any of these matches, because anytime I see the ladder matches, I hate to do it, but I go back and think of it was Dante Martin. It was that Martin brother when they had I think it was an ROH show where he came out and, like, in the video, you see his foot turn the wrong direction. And
which one I think of?
Which?
Old Eminem.
Oh, with the face one, Joey Mercury?
Yep.
Oh,
yep.
Where they get.
I remember seeing that. We were watching it on TV, and that guy came down and the ladder went up, and I swear, I'm like, I think he tore his face off. My friends was like, no. And they showed the replay of it, and blood instantaneously.
No,
my God.
And what's crazy is you saw that, like, Jeff Hardy would do that a lot, because it was always the move where he did, like, the split leg, like, jump on the one end and the other ones come out. Cause it's funny you say that, because when I watch Reliving the War on YouTube, and the Hardys are a big part of it. And he does that a lot at ladder matches, and I feel like he used to do that a lot more. And then once the Mercury thing happened, it didn't happen. Julian Ward has a good question here. He says, do you think Toni Storm has 1 foot out the door? I would, except because she said that she's an AEW lifer, and I feel like there's certain people that just are happy taking Tony's money and getting what they're getting.
She's already left. She's been there and already done it. Now they're not coming back now.
Yeah, exactly. Plus, it's one of those things too where, I mean, if you're at the top of the game in AEW and especially the women's division, do you want to go over to WWE and fight in that division? Like, the WWE's women's division is stacked and only getting more stacked. Stars are becoming bigger stars as we move. So
Yeah, wrestling she could blend in. Personality wise, she'd have to change everything.
Yeah. But yeah, so the Bucks. So there's two things that happen. So obviously everybody thinks that Brodito wins, but then the Young Bucks are in the ring, and they get attacked by Jungle Boy. And I'm not calling him Jack Perry because he's Jungle Boy again, because they show the video of him resurrecting Luchasaurus, and he comes out and attacks the Bucks, gives him a double choke slam, and he had some sort of like
sash. Did they play the Baltimore music or no?
They did. They do at the end. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Cause he has the sash that says kill switch and he tosses it. And yeah, it ends with them playing Baltimore and, Jungle Boy on his back riding out as far as I can. That's what I remember. So no, and from what I know about Baltimore, from what I remember, Tony made some sort of tweet that he bought that song and like gave the rights to Jack in perpetuity. Like he owns that. He can use it however he wants to for wrestling, as far as I know. Like that's
good for right? Baltimore.
Right. I was just going to say, I'm like, I don't care about Jack Perry, but good for Baltimore, man. That's a nice paycheck. Okay. But again, like this company always just shooting itself in the foot and going around in circles. Like you can't rehash every time. Like when they always
Jurassic Express worked though.
It did.
It did for a while.
But again, it never really evolved out. The only way it evolved was Jack Perry turning on him. Like they don't know how to do other things with, they just have, the evolution is a heel turn. Woo. As for something where they could make them maybe more serious or I don't know, something with it. But I mean, Jack Perry hasn't done shit since he was Jungle Boy, except for destroy the company by getting in a fight with CM Punk and him leaving and going to WWE and making millions on millions of dollars. And Luchasaurus has been bitch slapped by Christian Cage for 2 years. So it's better for them to go back to the old gimmicks. I'm just not that excited about it because I'm not that excited about it. That's all I got.
Do they bring back Marco Stunt?
Oh God.
I'm asking seriously.
I would assume for a one-off at some point, probably, just because but I mean, on a general basis, you can't. So I would say no, but hey, they do what they want, and speaking of do what you want, the next segment was Jon Moxley in a body bag, and Darby Allin lighting him on fucking fire, and all in one shot, so you knew it was him. And word on the street is Moxley's ass is burned. And if you watch the video where he lights him up, that's the first part that gets lit, is right about where his ass would be.
That seems like a pretty smart move.
Oh my God. Why? Like, just why?
Now I'm going to wonder something about this segment. I'm going to wonder if the fire marshal was consulted in Toronto.
Like Fire Marshal Bill? Let me show you.
There's no fire marshal officially in Toronto. It's called something else, but.
Oh, I'm right. I'm sure. Yeah, they probably have a better word for it.
Oh yeah.
The constable of the fire brigade, maybe? I don't know.
Cool.
I can't. Why does it revert to murder in this company? Like, this isn't Lucha Underground, guys. Like,
wait a minute. Didn't they, oh shit. Justified this is murder chants. Tony tweeted out. No, it's true.
No, they've done that. This is murder has been chanted in that company more than once, and I like that. Justified, because Tony's all justified this. Yeah. I haven't seen as many of those tweets lately.
Yeah.
I
caught that.
Yeah,
I think Brad hit me up with that one. That was pretty cool.
No, it's a good one. No, it's valid. But then we had what was it, 38-minute, 10-second main event of Hangman Adam Page versus someone we both think could have a bright future and a lot of potential if he could get out of working for the company that's going to hinder him. But Kyle Fletcher, I mean, obviously the kid's got every tool you need. We just need somebody that's not Don Callis guiding his career, for fuck's sake.
There's no one there that can take it.
Exactly.
He knows what he's doing, though. I'll give him credit. I saw an interview with him. He knows what's going on.
Yeah, no, I very much like the kid. I very much think he's got a bright future. I just am scared. It's like we talked about Jade Cargill, the unlearning, man. It's so much harder to unlearn than just learn. I mean, I was a corporate recruiter for 11 years, and that was a lot of things. There were certain companies we tried not to hire from, or certain things, because you'd rather hire somebody who didn't have the experience but had the skill sets because we could train them from scratch as opposed to training somebody from the old ways and have to unlearn it. And you've talked about it from hockey 1,000 times on these shows. And it's true. And every time I see him, I'm like, the longer he spends there, the worse chance he's going to have. Now, I think he does have the athleticism and skill to be able to pull it off. It's just the longer he's there, the longer it's going to take.
Yeah, and he recently signed a extension from what I remember correctly.
Of course he did. You can't, and that's another thing too. I can't blame him for that.
No, not at all.
I mean, I'm sure the amount of zeros, because the offer you're getting from W, and I'm sure he probably on some level talked to somebody within WWE, and it's more of a developmental deal. Like, hey, you're going to come in, you're going to work, you're going to get paid decently, but you're going to have to work. And then the next one will be the big check. And then Tony just, sends you.
Even those minimums now in NXT are pretty solid, dude.
Oh yeah, they're not bad. I'm just thinking,
78, $85,000. That ain't bad.
Right. I'm just saying, even if they offered him like 200, even if they offered him like $100,000 or $200,000, I'm sure Tony's offering him like $800,000 or $1 million. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't think he's getting paid that much.
I wouldn't be surprised in the sense of Tony. I would say he's probably making $750 if I had to guess.
I would say 5 tops.
Maybe. I don't know. I just think Tony doesn't understand, and he knows he's got to overpay to keep people. I don't know. It'd be interesting to know that, actually. But this match was everything you would expect this to be. I mean, I swear one of us could have not watched this match and like called it to the other one who did and like see how close we could have been. Because it's everything they always do, especially Paige. Doesn't sell to certain things, goes up and does his moonsault, dead eyes, buckshots. Woo!
People don't care he's a champ either. At this point in the night, my friends told me they were just done.
Oh, I can't.
Most of the crowd
imagine.
Was done.
Well, I mean, those last two matches, 24 minutes, 40 seconds, 38 minutes, 10 seconds. Like, and the Darby letting him on fire segment in between. I mean, that's like 2 hours of your life of just like, fuck.
Yeah. And you gotta remember, now you're looking at, okay, so you've been there for 5 hours.
And that's if you didn't watch the pre-show. If you
went
you're
there,
for the whole pre-show.
Like you're there, you're in attendance, you've been there 5 hours.
Jeez, yeah.
At least.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and like, oh shit, Wrestlepalooza starting and it's Brock and Cena. This is going to be much more entertaining. No, I'm always surprised at these 5-hour pay-per-views, how many people are still in their seats. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder if maybe people moved down or something with it. Cause I just don't think I don't want to be anywhere for that long.
I can't. You know me, I can't, dude. No way.
Yeah, dude, I don't like, there's nowhere I want to sit for that long. Like when I'm on if I have to go on a long flight, I purposely will get an aisle seat because I can't really sleep unless I can lay down. So I can like walk up and down and move because I need to. Like, yeah, like I flew from Phoenix to London a few years ago after about 5 hours, I'm like, I gotta move. I cannot be in the same, I'm just sitting there.
You've known me for a while now. Can you imagine me sitting somewhere for 5 hours?
No, especially like near stinky people and watching bad wrestling. No, I don't think I've ever seen George actually snap. I think I've seen it come close. I think that would be the one.
That might be it.
Right? But overall, like, this match was what it was. Paige was going to win. Nothing that exciting, and that was all out. I haven't seen anything from the.
Yeah. All in all, I gave it like a C-.
Yeah. I was like D+, C-, because again, it just goes too long. I'm not saying things are always bad. There's a point in almost every match where you can be like, there's where you should have ended it. Ended there. Yeah. And especially too, when it ends up being the same ending. Like you have this great finish for the babyface and then they get thwarted, but then they end up winning later. Or the heel has all this heat and then it's a 2 count and then the heel still wins. Like, you don't need to do that if you're going to go back to it. Like that's why, like when you see a guy get a visual pinfall in a title match, you're like, oh, he's not winning the title because we saw that. That's his gripe. That's wrestling. Yeah. And they just don't do it. And it's just every freaking match and every show and every pay-per-view.
It's too long.
Yeah. So But that was AEW All Out. I guess it's probably a good time for us to get into our little programming note that we've got here. That we're diving into a new experience. Do you want to announce it? Or do you want me to?
So the idea was in my brain at the time that we really during our weekly shows we really don't spend a lot of time on AEW product because, well, you know how we feel. However, equal time, folks. So what we're gonna do is on Thursdays, you guys are going to watch, you know, your SC Maniacs like you always watch. And then at 8:45 p.m. Eastern, we're going to do our AEW Dynamite review live on YouTube.
Yes, we are going to. This is great practice for me, too, because I got to figure out how to get us to be live on YouTube, too. So, you know, going for reviewing AEW the day after is pretty much is one of the best ways to kind of do that and get me some practice with it. So yeah, 8:45 Eastern, and I've already got a thumbnail made. I'll post it after this, and but yeah, we'll be live on YouTube 8:45 p.m. Eastern. We'll probably only go like an hour, maybe a little longer. I don't think we need to go too long.
The plan is for you people to have your programming for the night. SC Maniacs first. Us second, and then This is Awful.
Yeah, exactly. We're kind of, we're in that little sweet spot between them, which is great because we've had all four of those guys on our show before, and they're four amazing people to interact with. So, and I know a lot of people, you know, because I like to do it. I spend a lot of my time watching it on live shows, interacting with people. It's more fun than watching regular television, you know, and so, you know, yeah, I've even ordered, like, not for this week, I don't think, but I've even ordered a camera.
Wait a minute.
Behind me.
If we get a certain amount of number, we'll discuss it on Thursday. We get a certain amount of number of likes. We get a certain amount of number of likes. We'll decide if we go on camera or not.
Yeah. Well, because the whole idea is to drive more eyes to us, more subscribers.
I'm trying to make this a game where we get likes.
I like it. No, I'm all for it. More likes, more subscribers. That's. Every time I get that little notification that you have a new subscriber, like it's an amazing shot of dopamine. So please help us out. We're gonna. The other kind of slogan I'm kind of thinking is, you know, we'll watch Dynamite so you don't have to. We'll give you the review of it.
Yeah, we got some great production value too.
Yeah, hey, we always do with our production team, which is just one guy. But our production team, Chuck,
it all works.
No, thank you. I'm excited for this, so this should be a lot of fun. And then to go SC Maniacs, us, and then This is Awful. That should be a fun Thursday for folks, especially to kind of recover from and we wanted to kind of find a good time to start, and the first Dynamite after All Out seemed like the perfect first one to review, and so this will be the first because I've known we were going to do this for a few weeks. I purposely haven't watched Dynamite in a while. So this is going to be like, hey, I'm coming back in. Bring me into your show. Hey, make me a fan of your stuff. I'm giving it a full on honest effort and going to take notes of, hey, if they succeed, great, but probably where they fail. It's
going to be fun.
It'll be fun. If nothing else, we'll be able to crack some jokes, have some fun.
At this point, I think most of you understand my humor and Jake's humor. Mine's a little different, but you know where it's coming from at this point.
Yeah.
So you're going to get lots of that.
Yeah, we're going to, and then we'll have interaction. We'll be able to read the chats and,
there'll be no super chats yet, so don't get excited.
Not in that way. There is a method where
people.
Yeah, no. Well, I think I found a tool that they can chat through that, and then I'll see it, and I can still put it on the screen. I'm working on things behind the scenes on that through another service, so we'll see until we can actually get the real super chats from YouTube. But,
all you do is have them send it to your PayPal or Venmo account.
Right? Yeah. That's a good idea. That's a valid point.
That's how everyone does it now. So
yeah, that makes sense. All right. Yeah. And I could get a, QR code for that too. Yeah. See, this is why we do this stuff. I learn better by doing. So we're better off instead of preparing, just dive right into it. So this Thursday, you will see us going live. It'll be fun. I'm excited for it. All right. So anything else you want to cover before we just dive right into,
October 5th,
October
5th on our Spaces, we're going to have a special guest from overseas, so be prepared for an early start.
Yes. If anybody listening to this that is based in the UK or Europe or anything like that, October 5th, we will be going early and more for your time locally, as opposed to, because I know if you're listening to us now over there, it's like 2 a.m. So.
Yeah, I'm talking to him tomorrow, and we'll get the time established and go from there.
Perfect. Yeah, just let me know. I I let the couple UK folks that I know from my end of it about it, just so they can at least have some audience with it for it. So, and we'll tune in early. That'll be fun.
Yeah, once we announce the guest, we'll get a lot of people watching. Trust me.
All right. I love it. Shoot. See, I find out live with everybody else, but usually who would win our guests.
I got to make sure it's 100% before I go blabbing.
And I appreciate that. Better than Jay. Yeah. I'm not superstitious, but I'm a little stitious, but I believe in jinxes. So I'm with you there. Don't count your chickens.
Yeah, I wait to make sure it's 100% plus another 10%.
Yeah. No, for sure. Which actually can lead into Wrestlepalooza, because speaking of being 100% sure, they knocked it out with telling people and making this very easy.
Okay, I'm going to step in on this one real quick.
Please.
I learned that YouTube TV is not officially signed up yet.
Oh no!
So
really,
I hit my watch button and it goes nope.
Oh shit!
YouTube TV is not on board with this yet, and I saw people in chat saying the same thing earlier too. So YouTube TV is not in. So yet.
I didn't.
Neither is the one that Brian Last has. I can't remember. Either. They're not in yet either. So Comcast. Bingo.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of companies not signed up yet. So I have ESPN Plus already, which I kind of forgot about.
And that migrated over. Oh, I kind of lost you, George. No, I lost you there. Say that again. You kind of went silent for a second.
Are you still there?
No, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Yeah,
no I didn't.
I think your internet just went silent. So just say that again about what happened.
No, I went, I have ESPN Plus, so I just added to it basically.
Oh, okay.
Now it just, instead of paying $19 for that, I pay $7 more and I got a discount of
so my wife and I, so that's similar to what we did. We figured it out last week. We kind of, because we like rearranged our TV packages or our streaming packages or whatever, and like added that to the Disney one. I think basically it ends up being like $8 extra a month for what it is from what we had. But that's whatever. Either way, once I got it, hit play, it worked amazingly well. It was very smooth.
Not
I
happy.
didn't have any issue. I'm sure I didn't realize that happened. I didn't know that. You didn't text me that.
No, I didn't. I wanted to save it for today.
It's good. I'm glad, because I didn't know that. I thought you would. So now, is that something that they're working on getting that deal done, or?
Dude, I don't know. Because even when I heard Brian Last say his company didn't, they said that it hasn't signed up as of yet. So I don't know what's going on there. I really don't.
I wonder. So you know how sometimes like cable companies or whatever will get in spats with networks and
you'll see on your satellite that CBS locally is not. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Because I remember, when I had DirecTV, there was the commercials that I think it was like, Viacom, which is CBS. Yeah. Or like, they won't have a deal with ESPN. Like if you want to watch your favorite games, and usually the deals get worked out, but I know for a fact, because it happened to me at least twice, where like it didn't get worked out by the deadline. And for like 2 to 3 weeks, you don't have ESPN through your cable or whatever. So I wonder if this is kind of like a stalemate where like the two go, and maybe let's see if like YouTube, if YouTube gets enough people pissed, that'll break. That's crazy.
Yeah. I wasn't happy.
Oh, okay. So, it's Xfinity.
Okay.
Mike Glass clarified. I knew, Spectrum, which is owned by Comcast, they have it, but Xfinity doesn't, which is crazy, because wasn't there an Xfinity commercial?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. That's
what I thought. Xfinity.
Son of a bitch. That's literally the reason I didn't say Xfinity and I switched to Comcast is because there was an Xfinity commercial. I was like, I thought Brian had Xfinity. I pay attention. God damn it. How are you going to sponsor somebody and not get the deal to work with you?
Very odd.
That is some weird corporate shit that is above my pay grade, man.
Fortunately, I was afraid. My son's a big fan, and he's back in Buffalo. And I wasn't sure. I'm like, it's a long story, but I'll just condense it. I wasn't sure he was going to be able to get it, and it's tough to explain to him for various reasons. I'll go,
right.
You know what's going on there.
Right. Yeah.
So I kind of had I had one of the people that work under the place house. He calls me today, and I'm like, dude, he's not going to be able to get this. And the guy goes, yeah, he is. You got him the Disney bundle a long time ago.
Oh, it's in that.
Christmas is ago. I bought him the Disney bundle. It's in that. They had one button to push, and that was it. Done.
Nice. Yeah. No, that's
So I was really happy there. That made me happy after I was mad.
That when my wife and I, that's what we switched over to. Was literally what it was called, was the Disney. And then my television, when you hit the home button to pull up the apps, there's a sponsor on that. And for the 48 hours before Wrestlepalooza, it was two things: the NFL and Wrestlepalooza. And Wrestlepalooza, it even had the Brock and Cena like face things for the match. Like they were like, you know who these people are.
That's why I thought I had it, because I showed you the picture of my TV.
And I didn't even listen when like they were doing the thing when Cody was doing when they had R-Truth doing it too, but like they're like on SmackDown, and Cody was even saying, here's how you do it. And he listed, if you have any of these providers. I just tuned it out because I wasn't paying attention. I just assumed it was in there because, oh man.
Yeah, I did too.
That's crazy.
I did too.
Obviously, you weren't the only one. I'm seeing it in the chat right now. I'm seeing other, like, Rabbit said it happened to him too. Yeah, it happened to other people too. Because, I mean, it makes sense because there's certain ones you would just expect to be in there, and YouTube would be one of them, and Xfinity when they're a partner. That's so weird. That's crazy.
I would have thought too, but
we'll
see. We'll see.
It would have made a lot of sense, but
it wasn't like it killed me. I'll just say that it was just like an additional $7.
Right? Yeah. That's
fine.
Not paying an extra 30 and then 20 on top for the pay-per-view.
Because I totally forgot I had ESPN Plus. Now ESPN Plus doesn't exist until under the limited plan, so you're set.
Yeah, that was once we switched over to the Disney thing, because I had the ESPN Plus app and I clicked on that and I just had to re-log in with the new password with it.
Yeah.
It was pretty easy with it. But I did not know that about YouTube. I would bet before the next one that deal gets worked out, right? You would think it would have to. Just because so many people have that stuff, like especially YouTube TV. I mean, shit. Even my
I'll guarantee this. More people have YouTube TV and Direct TV,
especially now because they've got the.
I'm going with it.
Yeah, they got that once you got Sunday Ticket. I mean, that was why when I started with Direct TV, for however many years ago that I got it with them, that was the reason I had it. Was for mostly just for the Red Zone channel. I was like, I don't care about the guys want the Red Zone channel.
Yeah, I had it for all those years too. I still got it now because of the Buffalo games.
It makes the most sense. I mean, that's where the eyes in this country will always go to. That's why
it's an amazing change. It really is.
Yeah. But yeah, I was speaking, and then during all the college football games and all the baseball games and everything on ESPN, all you saw were ads, or like the bookends of ads, or the banner ads on the screen was for Wrestlepalooza and the new ESPN app. They crammed this down your throats, man. Which was good. I mean, they had to. I mean, this is how you introduce a new system. And I also saw a few different ways too that people are posting where there were certain apps that gave like a week's free trial, and it was included so that if people wanted to at least watch the first one, they could for free. And so it was, but I'm very curious to see what the numbers they'll release for it will be, because I wonder how many people actually did tune in and watch the show.
Yeah, ESPN will tell us, that's for sure.
I feel like they will. Does ESPN not like release the numbers for big games or whatever with it?
They always release the numbers. Yeah, okay. Always.
So, all right, yeah.
I'm always like an ABC ESPN game. You'll see 38 million people. They put it up there all the time.
Yeah, because I'm absolutely. It's big time. I mean, it's big time sports with it. But
I like the way they did everything. I'll save it for when we talk about it, but the show didn't live up to my expectations in the least bit. So,
all right, well, let's get into it, because I thought the show was good for what it needed to be. But again, I looked at this show a lot like I looked at the Netflix premiere, where this was more of a showcase for what we are and big stars and big events, because in their eyes, this is getting it the opportunity to be in front of 200 million households or however they put it with it. But like, I mean, initially though, like what didn't live up to it initially for you, I guess.
I didn't think the show was all that great. I didn't let's go through it with the beginning match, and I didn't expect what happened in the beginning to happen. So start from there and we'll go through it. I'll tell you as I go.
I mean, the opening match with it, it was funny. I actually posted, I'm like, Heyman to introduce Brock. I just had a feeling that was going to happen with it, but I thought he was going to come out with Brock. So I thought they did it well, at least initially, where Brock came out on his own and then gets in the ring.
He's going at least 295, 310.
Jesus.
Holy crap.
He's like, the way his arms, like, was it the traps? Is that the ones over your back? Like,
dude,
his
arms
he went
from head to chest. There was no neck.
Yeah, there's no neck. Yeah, no, it's insane because he's always been a giant monster that someone's as horrifying and scary. But like, you look at him now, it's like, that's the biggest. It's the biggest
I've ever seen him.
Yeah, I mean, when Pat McAfee calls him the alpha male of our species, like, he's not. Like, that's not an exaggeration. That's not an overstatement. Like, that's what he is. He skipped levels of evolution the rest of us will never see. And
McAfee made a joke. He's going about, what did he say? He's going about 315, 320?
I think he said
320. No. I'm like, yeah, pretty close, dude.
Because it's all muscle. Muscle weighs more than fat. No, he was massive. He's massive. And he's still so fast.
You could tell he was puckered out at the end, though.
But he's a sprinter, not a marathon runner.
Yeah, I know. He was pooped, but
he's Usain Bolt, not I don't know a famous marathoner off the top of my head. Damn it! But for him, it is a sprint, not a marathon. And right. I mean, you knew he was going to lead off we knew he was leading off the pay-per-view before they announced he was leading off the pay-per-view. If you're not going to go last, you're going first. But I mean,
squash match.
Yeah, well, it was. I feel like they did a combination of the two big matches that they had after Brock's return, the SummerSlam one, the Extreme Rules one, where Cena fought hard and came back, and the other one we got his ass kicked. They kind of had Cena keep fighting at the beginning, but it ended with him getting his ass kicked.
If I had again, I could be wrong, but if I have to go back and look at John Cena's time of offense, it can't be more than 2 minutes.
Well, the whole match is only 8 minutes and 50 seconds.
Right. So I'm thinking it's a squash match.
It was.
With Cena having that one really good spot.
Yeah, he had the 2 AAs, right? Yeah,
right. Yeah, that was it. Yeah. That was it right there.
That was it.
Good.
Yeah, you're
good
right.
Call. Thank you.
No, I mean, it was definitely surprising. It was, I mean, yeah, it's one of those things I'm not sure where they're going to go with it. And I still have this like randomly weird feeling that they're going to add more dates to Cena, but I mean, maybe not.
I'm not thinking that way.
Yeah, I mean, we're running out of time. We're kind of.
Yeah, I saw his dad. His dad did some interview, and that number's pretty etched in stone, dude.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure he's got other.
He's got to get out. His back is fried. You can tell by the way he walks.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. You could tell by the way they were. Not so much by the way he wrestles, but the way other people wrestle him. Like even Brock was throwing him around way more gently than he normally does.
Yep.
You got to. But
I didn't expect this to go like it did. I'll just leave it at that.
You know, I wasn't initially, but when I watched the pre-show, or not the pre-show, but I watched the thing on ESPN, the day before, like the Wrestlepalooza special, and Big E at one point said, like, that could happen. I could see this happening. And, you know, so it was in the back of my mind that it could, but I just didn't expect it to be so just, bam, you know?
Yeah.
But, I mean, yeah. The second match, and this was, I feel like this was kind of like the first real match to lead him off with was the Bronze versus the Usos. The Usos entrance was fun. I think they like redid the theme song, so now they're both in that one. So I guess that's going to be like the Usos theme, and Jay will have his own. It's basically the same song, but I forgot they did the new Then Now Together Forever opening,
beginning,
which was pretty cool how that worked and how that flowed through, and then it ending with like the entire crowd doing the yeet, because I've been in the crowd twice for that happening, and it is one of the coolest things to actually just see in person. So it ends perfectly with those of it. But, oh, and they made LA Knight the special guest referee. I didn't see that going into it because I was watching All In, or All Out, but they had, they fought backstage, and so Adam Pearce, which gets LA Knight on the card. That's cool. That's always fun. Makes sense because, I mean, he does get a pop. He is a star. I do still think he's turning heel though, but we'll see.
Got to do something because
he's kind of treading water, right?
You talked about this before. He's hanging there.
Yeah, well, I mean, and that's why they moved him to Raw, 3, 4, 5 months ago to kind of refresh him there. But now he's kind of hanging it again. So now it's got to heel turn him to keep it going with him. But Division 1, which I thoroughly expected to happen. The whole point of bringing the Usos back together was so that Division can say they beat the greatest tag team in WWE history, like that. Duh. If anybody expected anything else, I don't know what they were expecting with it. And it was a pretty dominant win with Heyman there. It was good. I enjoyed it. It was what it needed to be.
Yeah, and they did a nice spot afterwards too on the after show.
Yeah. Well, I mean, cool. You've got to have, the storylines are moving forward. You got to,
they do a nice job of that. I'll give them that.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to say they do it right, and they don't do it in every match. There was no afterbirth in the first match with it. And so they make it matter and they make it important so that when it does happen, you pay attention. Because if it's happening every single match, if it happened, this is the only match it happened during, I thought something might happen after the main event, but nothing did. And that's fine. You don't need an afterbirth for every single one. Match of the night was the next one, which was my favorite match of the night, probably my favorite match of the weekend, not just because Stephanie Vaquer won, but this was a fantastic match. Stephanie versus Io, in the singles match for the vacant women's world championship. It went just over 20 minutes. These two can go. You're hard pressed for me to find two better technical women's wrestlers in the world right now than these two.
20 minutes, you said?
20 minutes, 11 seconds,
okay.
It said. Yeah.
From my vantage point, the first 10 minutes were very sloppy. They looked like they were very nervous. It was not a good match. This is my opinion. In the first 10 minutes, I didn't think they were very sloppy. Things looked off. They looked like they were rushing too much. It just didn't look good. And then they seemed to, I don't know what happened, where it happened, but it happened. And they got on the same page, it looked like, and they were
the reverse of a Jade Cargill match. It's
the first 10 minutes were it was off.
Yeah, no, there was off.
And there were a lot of things that were just hurried, and it looked like they were trying to chain wrestle, and it didn't look good at all. And I was becoming very disappointed, but they got it back together somewhere in the 15-minute mark, I think. About 12 maybe. Yeah, no, I was enjoying that part on.
Yeah. No, I was just saying it's like the reverse of a Jade Cargill match where there's a point where she just gets lost and then the match goes to shit. No, it's a good way of putting it because it was a little rough at the beginning with it, but
if you look at it, they were hurrying a lot of their spots.
Which that can make sense. I mean,
I get that.
Yeah, I get it, but I think the nervousness is probably a big part of it, especially for Stephanie, where she knows she's gonna. I mean, this is her big crowning moment, and it's also with her father there, and it's pretty sure that was the first time he's ever seen her wrestle live, or at least first time wrestle live for the WWE. So I could see there being a lot of nerves and emotions for it, sure. But I enjoyed it. I give a lot more leeway with a lot of that stuff, especially too, where as long as it's not like when you're overly trying to be cooperative and holding somebody up on the top rope for 32 seconds like Pac and then driving off. But I totally get what you're saying, 100%.
If I'm gonna not like something on one, I'm not like something on the other. So
no, for sure. Oh, 100%.
I get you. Where I'm consistent.
Yeah. But this was cool to see, and it was the right finish. I think Stephanie needed to win. I'm glad that there wasn't any like shenanigans or anything that, could be considered that cost EO or whatever. It was just a good match, and they had the little like show of respect at the end for baby faces, which I enjoyed, which was great. And then Stephanie won, and they put a lot of great posts on social media about it, and I'm excited to see her on Raw tomorrow. I don't know if she's going to open the show, but she might. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah,
I'd like to see kind of promo.
Good chance.
I also saw that she just recently did a new interview with Chris Van Vliet. And again, like you talked about, like she's busted her ass to be able to speak the language of the country that she's in to get herself more over. And, you know, like we don't see a lot of other, like, you know, I don't see everybody doing that. And that's why
that's
she's
our
done
special, that's our special guest for October 5th.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
That's Jake, as Jake passes out, just done. So the big star match of the evening, where it's CM Punk and AJ Lee versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. This one went a little bit too long for sure. I don't know why this would needed to go 29 minutes and 18 seconds.
19 minutes would have been perfect.
I was literally going to say you could have lopped 10 minutes off of that puppy and it would have been just fine. There was way too much going in with that one, but I also feel like that's probably what happens when you have these 4 stars and types of people in it, and WWE's a little bit more not as rigid with the you know, with where everything has to be as scripted as it used to be, and you can have a little bit more freedom. And I think we saw it in this match, and it was fine. The crowd enjoyed it. You know, a lot of people I saw online were really loving with it. It wasn't my favorite match, but it was fun. You know, and it was what it needed to be.
I wasn't sure what the whole deal was with Rollins skipping for 15 minutes.
He was just making fun of it. He was just making fun of
it. Went a little, that's why things went long. He did it for a while.
Yeah, there was a lot of that.
I thought someone was hurt at first.
There were some things that just went too long. Yeah, there was. I mean, we get it. You're mocking AJ. You don't need to continue to mock AJ. Like, we get it. It's fine. You know.
I will give credit to Seth and Becky for the best entrance of the evening.
Nice. Okay, yeah, yep.
Nicely
and shout
done.
out to their gear. Their gear was a tribute to the Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. That's why they had like their matching colored gear was for that, which I didn't find out till afterwards. I knew there was some reason behind it, but that's pretty cool. Yeah, you know, you gotta appreciate stuff like that.
That was a cool entrance. I liked it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree, and I'm a sucker for a good entrance. I've always been one of those people. You know, I admit it. I'm a mark for a good entrance, man. I always have been. But yeah, it would, like, I see people like, Mike Glass saying the match absolutely sucked. Yeah. I mean, if you weren't really if you weren't really into the AJ Lee part of it, which not every, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't a great match. It was a story and fun, but yeah, no, it went too long for me, like with the submissions, and I get what they were doing, but I feel like everything they were doing, you know, they did like, you could have done 3/4 of it and it would have been fine. If you cut a quarter out of each spot, you're getting this match down to like 18 minutes and it would have been perfect.
Got to also take into account there was such thing as ring rust.
This is true. Oh, and I feel like for me, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I think with AJ, it wasn't so much that, I feel like it was her timing that was off initially, and eventually she kind of got there with it, but you could see early, like she still had the motions down, but just her timing was off.
The kicks were off.
Yeah, and I mean, of course they are. She hasn't wrestled on TV in freaking, what do they say, like 11
Which
years?
Is why this angle shouldn't, okay, we can get into this now if you don't mind.
You know, whatever you want, man.
This whole thing was rushed.
Absolutely.
This whole thing was rushed. It should have been, just because they threw this pay-per-view together to screw with AEW, they had to throw this in there. She just premiered last week.
It's not so much, just really quick. I think it's less to screw AEW and more that ESPN paid.
Either
I think it's the ESPN wanted in early.
Okay, ESPN, you're right. You're right.
But you're right. It's absolutely rushed, because that was why when
she just came back last week.
No, for sure.
Last week.
It was right after. I mean, they came back from Paris, and it was the first SmackDown back. She's been back, like one SmackDown after that. Yeah, and that's why when they announced this deal with ESPN and initially, and then it was like, oh, but we're coming in for the pay-per-view too right now, because when it was initially announced, pay-per-views were on PLEs were on Peacock through Mania 42. And then instead of not even to the end of the year, we're like, no, we're done after Clash and starting in September. So yeah, they had to put everything into this, and I get why it happened, but you're absolutely right. It was definitely rushed.
This could have been the one that they could have put in something. I don't know what. Okay, I don't know what, but they could have put in something else beside this and let this brew for another Perth.
Yeah,
because Perth
and
is
it's
the
not
next
that
one,
far off. You're right. No, you're right.
October 11th?
Something like that. Let's see.
I think it's October 11th in Perth. I think
I could pull it up right there. What is it? Crown Jewel Perth? Yeah. It is. You are correct, sir. October 11th, down in Perth, which means it's like 3 a.m. for me. The Australia shows are rough for us here on the West Coast. Yeah, no,
7 for me.
I have yet to watch them live.
6.
But I'm sure the app will be great because I had no issue. Like the app should be good for watching it on a replay with it. But yeah, no, I totally get where you're coming from with it. Like they rushed into it, but I see why they did it. Those are huge names. It's a big match. Return of AJ Lee.
I get it. But...
And so I think in that sense of it, it worked and it was fine. But I also saw a lot of people were saying, "Oh, this match," because the people that love this match are like, "Why wasn't it on last?" And I'm like, the reason it wasn't on last is because for the rest of us that could, watch it objectively, it wasn't the best of a match. Which I thought.
There's no reason why this should have been, there's no reason it should be a main
event.
No,
well, see, I mean, Cody and Drew being the main event. Yeah, exactly. Because Cody and Drew for the title, unless you're going to have a massive storyline after a match, having the main event the world title should be the main event, unless there's a reason not to. And there wasn't for this card.
There was
no.
And
Cody and Drew are two guys who can go and put on a fantastic match. And there was a couple of times you thought Drew might win. He had that visual pinfall on Cody and, Wade was selling it.
I feel so bad for Drew. Dude.
I mean,
Oh, we never did mention that CM Punk and AJ actually won.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. That's a good point.
Yeah. Never finished that.
Yeah, no, that AJ got Becky to submit. You're right. That's a valid point. I guess I gotta feel like I don't think anybody's using us yet to be their nearest for the show. One day, my friend, goals. Anyway,
but I will tell you one thing. Becky is a heel. Her selling is so good.
Becky, this heel run is some of Becky's best work. Like the big time Vex character, I mean, let's be real, it was trash. Like they just weren't done well. It was like a Vince's version of what Becky should be as a heel. And what she's doing now is more of what she wants to do as a heel, cause she's great at it. She's a chicken shit. She has no problem looking like a complete idiot and because that's what heels should do. Get their comeuppance. That's part of the deal with it. And she's, like when Seth said, luckily I've got somebody who will, and he looks back and then Becky immediately looks back behind her. Like, what, we talk to somebody else? Like she's great at this. Like that was an amazing sell job on Raw.
If you think AJ wasn't looking good at all, think about how bad she would have looked if she wasn't with Becky.
Yes.
Because Becky did her best to cover up stuff that you can see. Well, like we talked about, AJ's timing was a little off and kicks were off. Becky sold that shit like it was.
Shout out to Becky Lynch as a true professional for sure. But yeah, the main event was fine. It was fine for what it was. You knew Cody was going to go over and keep the title, at least for now. I mean, Drew definitely deserves a title run at some point, but
when though, dude?
I just feel like right now with the ESPN deal and with Cody being the champion, I mean,
that's the problem. They fucking set themselves up for having Cody had a win because he's all over the place on ESPN.
He is a great ambassador for the company. Like, there's not many people better than Cody in an interview. You know what I mean? Especially too, like, you can kind of use that name. You can use his namesake for the people that, like, if you have lapsed fans from long ago, like, oh, that's Dusty's kid, like that part of it too. And he's great in interviews. He's an amazing baby face. He's good with kids. Like, he can make fun of himself. Yeah, almost everything that I've seen him do in interviews or like the funny YouTube videos where they're eating weird snacks or showing you what's in your bag and stuff. Like he's great at all that shit. And like, that's still one reason why I don't understand why AEW didn't use that more when they had him, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, he was doing all the shows on ESPN leading up to it too, so you kind of knew. But you feel bad for Drew because, Jesus Christ, the poor guy can't get a break.
Yeah, but I think he's making that work for him. Like, he's really just adding that into his character.
I don't know. It's running out. We're running out of time. He had the belt during the COVID era. There we go. Words, and that kind of gets lost. I feel bad for him. He's busting his ass.
Yeah, but I mean. he's making it work for his character, though. I really think it is working for it. Now,
I'd rather see him as a champion sooner than later.
Yeah, I just don't know how you do it though and when, because I mean, obviously the men's title.
It should have been done a while back, to be honest with you.
But when though? Where? What's that?
It should have been done back.
Maybe during maybe during the long-term Roman reign was probably some point in there, but they were working with what they were working with in Roman's story. You know, like that's the problem. It's one of those things like not everybody can have the title at different points, even with two of them. That's why when people say like, oh, you should combine the titles, I'm like, Jesus, then nobody's getting title reigns. Because
I always feel bad for the poor bridesmaids, and I always feel bad for Drew. I'm just going to stick with that.
I get you. No, I'm not saying I don't. I'm just saying like it's one of those situations that just kind of.
Oh, I know, but you got to squeeze him in before he's done.
Sucks.
That's all.
Yeah. No, I don't think I think he's got plenty of time left. I think. You know, but maybe not if he keeps doing movies and stuff. So I know he was in he was in that recent Batista movie. So
yeah,
maybe. Yeah. No, but I mean, I'm with you on that. But I also feel like he is. At least he is still doing great work. He's in major matches. He was in the feud of the year last year. So, you know, it's and I'm sure he's getting a fantastic paycheck. So
he's 40.
Yeah. Okay. So he's got I would say he's got another 5 good years left in him.
Oh boy. Hope so.
I feel like at least in the modern era especially with the way guys have nutrition and then, you know, modern medicine, do the Rey Mysterio, go down and get the stem cells. Get the stem cells in the knees. Everybody says how great that is. I mean, shit, even JBL got that and now was hitting more clotheslines once he got those.
Yeah, but you got
to get his knees fixed.
I'm like, I can go down there and get them.
No, yeah, must be nice. If I could, I would, because yeah, I got a rough knee issue. But oh shit, look at that. We went an hour and a half just yammering about. That was awesome. Well, yeah, that was, I would grade the first ESPN show a solid B. It was what it needed to be. Like I said, I was going into it expecting it to be comparable to the Netflix premiere. That in my head, that was what this show was kind of be similar to, but just maybe a little bit more match heavy versus TV show heavy, which is what it was. And yeah. I enjoyed it. I was sports entertained. I thought I watched the post show. They started to set up Cody versus Seth for the Crown Jewel Championship because they're going to do that in Australia, I guess. So whoop-de-doo. I'm not a big fan.
I went B-. All
right. That worked.
I wasn't extremely happy. I wasn't extremely sad. I was.
Yeah. Now, I'm very curious to see if there are any numbers that come out of it or what ESPN says. I feel like ESPN has to be fairly happy with it because, I mean, I didn't have any lagging issues. I didn't get kicked out at any point.
No, that was the one thing that was good, dude.
The only thing is at one point, like one of the commercial breaks, like took like 10 seconds to start. But once it was finished, I just clicked down and went to live and it brought me those 10 seconds back. And I never had an issue. I never had an issue again. So for their first time, I give them props for making that successful because nothing worse than when your first run out there and there's a major issue and they can't run it through.
Some technical shit you're not expecting.
Right. Yeah. You just not prepared for it. But I know, I mean, that's kind of why I know, like with Netflix, when they did like was it like the Jake Paul Tyson fight? Like they did that before, like that was a test run and they had some issues. They got those resolved before they were going to do Raw every week. So I was worried that there could be some issues with this one, but I think they worked that out all with college football and stuff. So
yeah, it was good.
All right. Well, shit, I feel like that's probably what we want to cover for today. We'll do another episode this week at some point, but yeah, tune in everybody this Thursday, 8:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time through our YouTube account, which if you're not subscribed, please go subscribe, youtube.com/@AltJakeTakesOn. It's free. It helps us out. We love everybody. Please come help us out. Anything else you got, buddy?
It'll be a good time. It'll be fun.
Awesome. Well, all right, cool. Well, we will see everybody next week. Please continue to like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And we will catch you next time. Peace, everybody.